Hello, welcome to this money handling and cashier training course provided by TeachByTech. My name is Lenny and I'm here to assist your learning throughout the course. Congratulations on taking this important step to improve your job opportunities. I'm looking forward to working with each of you throughout this course. If you have questions, please ask. I am here to help prepare you for future employment. Last week we discussed oral communication. Speaking and listening to customers, coworkers, and supervisors is important to a cashier. Remember, you can always review the videos as often as you need. If you have questions, ask your instructor. Today, we are going to focus on another aspect of communication, writing. This skill will build on your oral communication skills. Listening carefully and responding appropriately are essential skills to a cashier. In the cashier world, you will also be asked to write often. This may be taking a message, working on a computer, filling in forms, requesting a schedule. These are just a few examples of the need to write clearly and communicate in writing. Let's begin with some basic understanding of the computer. Each day, when you begin work, you will be asked to log into your workstation. This may be a cash register or a computer. You will begin by clicking a login or sign-in link somewhere on the home page, from which point you'll enter your information. This information is given to you by your employer and identifies you as the person using the computer or register. After you have signed in, you will be able to look up items in your store in many different ways. For example, let's look at the Denver Public Library website. Here you can look up books by author, title, keyword, or a number code. Here you can see the search bar. If you type in the author's name, it will show you all the books written by that person. For instance, if I type in John Green, we see many titles by that author. Now, let's type in the title of a book, Becoming. We see that this is the title of a book written by Michelle Obama. Sometimes books and products found in a store will be identified by a number. For a book, the number is called an ISBN number. For other products, it is called a UPC code. If you type in the ISBN number, it will provide you with the author and title of the book. For example, if we type in 03743866137 in the search box, we will see that the book A Wrinkle in Time appears. Many stores use a system similar to the library to search for items. I encourage you to go to the Denver Public Library website or the Aurora Public Library website and practice finding books or movies using the search bar. The more you practice, the easier this will become. As a cashier, you will see many forms, and you must be able to complete these forms. Two of the most used forms are inventory lists and invoices. Inventory lists are used by businesses to keep track of the products within a company's supply that are available for sale. By effectively managing your inventory, you can have the right products in the right quantity on hand and avoid products being out of stock and funds being tied up in excess or too much stock. You can also ensure your products are sold in time to avoid spoilage or spending too much money on stock that's taking up space in a warehouse or stockroom. Let's take a look at an inventory form that you may see in your new job as a cashier. As you see, there's a lot of information on this inventory list. The inventory ID helps you to locate the item by its UPC. The name column will provide you with the name of each item in the inventory. The description will give you brief details to identify the item. Each item in the store has a price. This is shown in the unit price column. Next, you see the quantity in stock. This column tells you how many of this item are in the store. This is very helpful when a customer is looking for an item and when you are scheduling orders of new stock. The inventory column informs you of the total value of a particular item in the store. For example, this column identifies that 72 toothbrushes have a total value of $1,872. One toothbrush is $26, identified in the unit price. All 72 of the toothbrushes equal $1,872. Next, you see a column reorder level. This column lets you know when you should reorder new stock. Using the toothbrush example again, if there are only 9 toothbrushes in the store, it is time to reorder more. The next column, reorder time in days, lets you know how many days it will take for the new inventory to be delivered to your store. The quantity reorder column tells you how many items will arrive in the reorder. For example, if you reorder toothbrushes, it will take 9 days for 100 toothbrushes to arrive in the reorder. The last column identifies if an item has been discontinued. This means that the item is no longer made or produced. The amount of stock or inventory that is necessary to carry on the business activities depends on the nature and size of the business. It also depends on whether or not the business entity has enough space to store the inventory items. Keeping a low level of inventory has advantages like lower storage cost, less stock waste, easy updating stock with the latest products. But disadvantages are the loss of business opportunity, dependence on suppliers' efficiency. You have to weigh the advantages and disadvantages of carrying stock. High levels of inventory has its own share of advantages like easy maintenance, always ready to serve clients, smaller inventory costs due to bulk buying. But there are disadvantages like higher capital tied up, more waste of inventory, costlier to update inventory. So it all depends on the company's management policy and flow of inventory as well. In any cashier job you have, you will need to use inventory lists. Now let's look at an invoice. An invoice is a document that a seller or a business provides a customer, detailing the quantity and the price of products sold or services given. It is a common practice for businesses to send an invoice in order to bill their customers for an outstanding payment. Invoices are important because they provide written documentation of services provided by the business and money owed to the business by the customer. Let's take a look at an example invoice. The usual sections in an invoice include the date that the invoice was created. Don't forget this. The date of the invoice starts the clock ticking on the customer. If you have terms, a time limit for payment, you want to include the date so everyone knows when the payment is due. Names and addresses of customer and supplier. Contact names of individuals at the two businesses or business and individual. It's a good customer relations rule to make sure you spell names correctly. Description of items purchased, either products or services, including prices and quantities. Often you will have standard item descriptions and inventory numbers. But be as specific and detailed as possible when you create the invoice. This avoids confusion and I don't know issues. Terms of payment. For example, the provider might specify net 30 days, which means that the entire amount is due within 30 days. Balance due. This is the amount of money that the customer needs to pay the business. As we said, writing is an essential skill for all cashiers. It is also a skill that is transferable. This means that you can use your writing skills in many different jobs or life situations, such as filling in work application forms, filling in online forms, filling in applications to be a volunteer, using the job bank online, filling in a paper order for magazines or merchandise. I encourage you to practice your writing skills every day. This will make you a better employee and a more engaged participant in your community. If you want additional practice with cashier vocabulary, continue watching. Otherwise, have a great day. So these are some specific words that you might find as a cashier. Invoice is a document that a seller or a business provides a customer, detailing the quantity and the price of products sold or services given. Balance is the amount of money owed to a business by a customer for goods sold or services provided. Inventory, a complete list of items such as goods in stock or the contents of a store. If you ever hear a word that you do not understand, ask your coworker or supervisor. This will help you to avoid mistakes. Here are some other vocabulary words that you may hear often. Shift report. It's a record of notes that must be handed in by a cashier at the end of a work shift. Wholesale. The sale of large quantities of goods to a retail outlet. Supplier. The company or business that provides a retailer or wholesaler with products to sell. And finally, merchandise. Things that customers buy. Make sure to review these vocabulary words every day so you feel comfortable with them. If you don't feel comfortable, ask your instructor in your next class. All right, I'll see you in class.